Yo, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things embodiment, entrepreneurship, and living your best delicious dream life. Today's topic is one that is very important to me and something that has been coming up quite a bit in the last few weeks. I've been really talking to friends about this and realizing yet again how important this is for me and how important this is to get into the world at large and how I want to implement it more into my life. So today we are covering moon cycles / period cycles / bleed cycles, whatever you want to call it. We are going to cover the general month and the different seasons that we as women go through and how important that is to become familiar with so that we can make the most of our intuition, of our ultimate guidance, and to make the most of our month because it changes every week and we need to honor that more. So yeah, this is really starting that conversation, and as I said, it's something that's really important to me. It's something that has changed my life completely over the last few years after first finding out about it and coming to terms, becoming more familiar with my body and my cycle. And yeah, it's something that is really, really dear to my heart. So watch till the end, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It's something that we as a society need to come together with. It's not just women that need to become more familiar with it because it's their bodies, it's their partners, it's their brothers, it's their lovers, their fathers, their sons, their friends, their co-workers, their bosses. It really, the whole narrative needs to change, and this is why I am opening up this conversation. Just like we go through spring, summer, autumn, winter in a year's cycle, a lunar calendar, we also go through that in our moon cycles. So the time where you're bleeding is winter, and just like the season, it's where we want to more hibernate and rest and not outwardly put energy into a space unless it's really consciously done, to really look after our bodies and to receive nurturing and to nurture ourselves and really have a space that's there for it. It's really important to not push ourselves when we are bleeding, when we are in that stage, because it is what really leads to burnout, and especially because we are in society as it is today, we are pushed as women to go to work and to work just like the men, in the fact that we show up the same every single day, but it really is not like that for women, and more people are becoming aware of it, but it's not in the mainstream yet, and that's something that I am really passionate about. I'm not 100% sure if that is something that I will bring into the narrative more. I at least just want to start with opening up the ideas to some of you that are watching, and hopefully, yeah, share it with some people who might be interested, who might benefit from it. Listening to these cycles is not only going to create change in the fact that it's going to allow us to be more calm and nurtured and fill up our cup, but it's going to allow us to be more productive in the general month, because if we do honor these different times, then different times are better for channeling, for resting, for really just tuning into our bodies and having those downloads. And then as we come into spring and summer, it's where our ideas can really be unleashed, and everything that we've been kind of sitting on and just working in the background, tuning into, feeling into over the autumn winter period, when it comes to spring summer, it just happens. Like, we can create things out of seemingly nothing, and everything just goes to plan, and we have so much more energy to do those long days, to really just get stuff done. And that only really happens if we honor the winter stage. So if we don't honor the general month, it leads to burnout, it leads to so much less productivity, it leads to just feeling cranky and overwhelmed constantly. And then it's like we're trying to catch up month after month. Every time we bleed, if we keep ignoring it, that's where the pain comes from. That's where I also believe is a big part of PCOS and other really big changes that women go through, and really big things that women have to deal with, that becomes really detrimental to our health. I know a few people that actually have to go to hospital many months of the year whenever they bleed, just because they literally cannot function without being in that safe space. It's their body really crying out for them to listen to it more and to provide a more holistic environment. And unfortunately, not all of us can do that. If we're still working under a boss and it's not in a holistic environment, then many of us can't actually just take off a few days every month. We can't change our productivity, we can't change our hours to align with where we're at in our cycle. But it is getting there, and it's important to start talking about it. And for now, taking sick days, unfortunately, is the only way that some people can honor that time. But we can also honor it by not going out as much when we're bleeding. We can honor it by not making as many commitments, knowing that our autumn-winter phase is coming up. And then even in spring, we're still kind of in that winter stage. We're just coming out of it. We still need more nurturing and more slowness, but we're able to start picking up things and start scheduling things and start focusing on the really important big things. And then summer, it's just like smash it out. We have so much energy for it. It's just so beautiful and so abundant, and we can manifest like crazy. So to break it up, we have spring, summer, autumn, winter. And as I said before, it goes with the seasons of the year. We'll start with winter. That is when we're bleeding, and it's when we really need to nurture and be soft and quiet and not do as much. I always try to change up my work schedule so I don't actually have to work when I know that my bleed is probably going to come. And if it comes early or later, I try and, as much as possible, change my work so that I can still honor it even if it doesn't come on the day that I really thought it would. So there's many apps you can use to track your cycle, and every cycle is different, but the apps usually are pretty good with that. So they will end up predicting after 3 or 4 months of you jotting it down when you're bleeding, when you're going through all these different stages. It will kind of give you a guide on when your bleed is due, and then you can plan your month around it. So winter is that delicious nurturing time. Leading up to winter, I want to focus on myself and tie things off for the month. If I have some big projects that I want to finish before that month ends, then I will finish them off as much as I can, but also try not to push myself too much so I'm not completely exhausted, because coming up to our winter time, we do have those symptoms coming through and our body is calling for more nurturing and slowing down. I also communicate with friends and family. If I have really big things planned, then I will either reschedule them or I will let them know that my bleed is coming up, and I'm not 100% certain if I will be able to make it. It really depends on how I'm feeling on that day, on that afternoon, whenever it is scheduled for, and they understand that. I am now so blessed to be surrounded by people that do understand that. My family, not so much. They're still very much in the kind of old way that I used to be before I went through my spiritual awakening. But as much as I can, I just try and not be apologetic for when I do need to cancel for my own benefit. I can't come tonight, but can we organize something that's just you and I? I really want to spend some time with you, and I won't be able to make it to your party or whatever it is, but I would love to spend more time with you one-on-one next week after my bleed is over and I'm feeling a bit better and I can be more present with you. Because I love that about friendships that are conscious. We come together when we know we both have energy to give, and we want to share that energy and we want to be there for the other person. Yes, there are definitely times when I want to meet up with a friend because I have a lot of stuff going on and I need a shoulder, I need someone to listen to and hold space for me. But I communicate that first, and it's the same with them. If they have stuff going on, I'm like, I have space for you right now, let's meet up. I want to be there for you. You don't have to take on any of my stuff. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I've talked for too long now, now it's your turn. We just hold space for the other person when they need it, and that is a true conscious friendship. It's pretty delicious. So wintertime is all nurturing, and in that delicious space, there's usually a lot of channelings that come in. And that is a really powerful time, because if we are taking that space, if we are nurturing and cutting out a lot of the extra noise that we usually have to deal with. It allows us to tune into our true selves and embody our truth in a different way. And anything that wants to come through then has space to do it. It doesn't have to be an idea that is right there and it's all mapped out, but it can be something that starts to come through and you start to tune into it and start to acknowledge it more than you usually would. For me, that's where a lot of my channelings get done. It's where a lot of my creativity comes through. I really love the time because I really get to give myself a break. And when I want to work on things during my bleed, it's because I have the energy to and it feels right. It's not forced, it's not rushed. It's not with so much pressure, it's just with, okay, like I am gonna just focus on this for the next few days. Maybe I literally just want to take a break from everything and read and listen to podcasts or watch Netflix and get Uber Eats or cook a massive beautiful meal and have it over a couple of days. Meal prep is also something that's really beautiful, or if you have someone that can cook for you, it's a really beautiful time for them to show up for you in a different way and to just put less pressure on you, so that you can focus on healing and all the beautiful things that come with it. Coming into spring is a really beautiful time as well because you're starting to just come out of the little hidey hole that you've been in. Hopefully you've been able to nurture and rest and really just take time for yourself. Ideas will start to come forth a little bit more, things will start to pick up, you'll be able to have more energy to put towards those things, to put towards your goals and your dreams, and start to plan a little list of things that you want to get done over the month, and you will have more energy to it. It's spring, right? So there is little seeds that you can plant, there's things that you can water and things that you can nurture and really see them start to grow. In relation to the seasons, the sun is usually out more, things are usually more light and delicious and alive, and that's how you'll hopefully be feeling. Spring is really good for planning your next season, which is summer. So summer is the time where you're ovulating. You'll have hopefully usually a lot more energy and you'll be able to really tick things off the list really crazily. It's literally like a whole month of energy comes through you in that summer period, and it's really beautiful. You will have more energy to do those longer days, to smash those bigger tasks, and to do many things at once. In each time period, in each season, you will be able to get clearer on what you need to do and what you need to let go of with each different season, whether that is with your moon cycle or with the seasons of the lunar calendar. We really can get clear on what we need to call in to nurture our dreams and our goals and our desires for that year or that moon cycle, and what we need to let go of to create that space, to create more light and to give you more energy and take the weight off your shoulders. Summer, you'll also want to go out more and you'll have more energy to see friends and just do all of the things. And then you'll be preparing to come back into autumn. So as summer leads to autumn, again, just calming down a little bit and taking note of what you need to do, what you need to let go of, what you need to call in, and really getting clear again on what this next season is going to look like for you. So autumn is leading up to your bleed, getting prepared for that. It's ticking things off the list that you can do with the energy that you have. It's basically preparing for hibernation, preparing to take a few days off work or off social meetings and really just nurture yourself more, listen to your body and maybe get some body work done. It's a perfect time to get body work done in your autumn season, to clear as much energy as you can so that you can rest appropriately in winter. Sometimes in winter I do like to get some body work done as well, but it can be also a lot. It can be a lot to even leave my house, to leave my room when I'm in my bleed stage, my winter stage. And really just the 2-3 days that I'm mainly bleeding, I love to just rest in my bed and to have things dark, to not really be paying attention to time and just have my curtains drawn and have nurturing food. Sometimes I fast on my bleed and that is really beautiful as well, because I feel like I have a lot of energy and I'm quite heavy and I just want to let that go. So sometimes I fast. I just make sure I'm drinking my Kangen water, or if you don't have a Kangen machine, just have filtered water as much as you can. Liquids are really good to keep you hydrated while also giving you some substance so that you can still nurture your body and get some nutrients in. If I also want to just have a pint of Ben & Jerry's, like, I just do it, just whatever, like, you have one life. And I do try to avoid sugar as much as I can during the month, but when I'm bleeding, I just want to give my body what it wants, and I stick to, like, obviously I'm vegan and I stick to that. I don't have like dairy, I don't really crave any of that stuff, but like, stick to your diet or your normal regime as much as you can, but also just allow yourself a little leeway. Like, if you need some more cacao, maybe get some organic delicious cacao and really make a ceremony with it. There's really a lot of ceremonies that you can do throughout the month, but especially in your winter period, it is really beautiful. It's a really beautiful time to, if you have a moon cup, collect your blood, and you can do a ceremony with it. Either put it on your face as a face mask and give those nutrients back to your body, or taste it even to just give yourself a little bit of insight into what's coming out of your body, to tune in and then notice how that changes over the month, depending on what your diet was like, on what your energetic diet, I guess, was like, what you're consuming energetically. If there's a lot of pain that comes through on your bleed as well, it might be an indicator that you push yourself too much during that month and you need to take some more time for yourself and then improve that for your next bleed. So really just plan for it a little bit more and energetically choose what you're consuming, choose who you're hanging out with. Maybe there's some things that you are kind of struggling with, some situations that you need to remove yourself from, or you need to change the circumstances around, or you need to resolve. Maybe you're just doing too much and you need to really listen to your body a little bit more. Maybe give yourself some more body work, some more time out, meditate more. You can still get a lot done by adding a couple hours every week of body work, of meditation, things like that. It actually helps your productivity levels, and it will help you feel more embodied and aligned with your truth and be able to channel and be productive. So yeah, that is basically the month. It has taken me a few years to really tune into it, especially being in and out of like a normal 9-to-5 job. These days I work pretty much mostly for myself, and I'm able to just choose the days where I want to work more, work less. I plan, for example, if I have my YouTube videos coming out once a week, I plan to do them on a different day. I'm able to as well just nurture myself more and take that time to really rest and just tune in. Especially as a creative, I notice when I'm channeling my best, and that is always when I've had time to rest, I've had time to tune into my ideas, and things just really happen like that, like so quickly. If I take the time to tune in, if month after month I'm really working on that and really staying conscious with that, listening to my body, the more I look after myself energetically and physically, the less pain I have as well, which is obviously amazing, because that's something that most women have to deal with during their bleed, and it's so intense, and it's something that we need to open the narrative up about, because if we can, then we can have the men around us nurture us, we can have the women as well tune in and nurture us, and we can nurture the others around us when they are bleeding, or when they're in their autumn phase, or if they're in their summer phase and you're in your winter phase, and you can just communicate around that and ask them to pick up a bit of the slack, and then you will do the same when they're in their winter stage, and you can just look after each other that way, and we can all really work together to make the seasons a little bit easier and more productive, and really just more aligned. That's really where it all comes down to, more embodied and aligned, and we can feel good about every stage, because there really is so much beauty in every single stage when we honor them. So yeah, let me know how you go, or if you have a story you'd like to share, feel free to share that as well. And Any questions, feel free to pop them down below or reach out to me. Send this to a friend, give it a like and a comment, and subscribe if you're new. Check out this as well. These literally just came today. So this is my brand. This is the first drop of t-shirts for White Wolf, my clothing brand. Ethical, vegan, sustainable, inspired by tattoo culture and grunge and all of that stuff. And this is the back design. Pretty crazy. I will leave all of the White Wolf Instagrams and things below, and feel free to check them out, give us a follow and support them. I will see you next week.